They held me for hours, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, casting a sterile glare on the concrete walls. My head throbbed. The aftermath of last night's haze made it harder to focus. Across the table, the cop's gaze was cold and steady, his voice low but relentless. Ian, you were found at the scene. The girl was dead. The pills, the state you were in, everything points to you, mate. I shook my head, my voice barely more than a whisper. I didn't do it, I swear I don't even remember. I couldn't. He leaned in closer, his eyes narrowing. You don't remember, or you don't want to. The truth was, I didn't know. I remembered the girl, remembered the pills, the way the night blurred into a chaotic mess of sensations and slurred declarations of love, lust, and brotherhood. But I didn't remember hurting her. I couldn't have. Could I? The detective threw down a photo, her face pale and lifeless. The silver anklet still glinted in my mind, a cruel reminder of the brief moments I could recall. Her name was Lila, he said, his voice softening for a moment. 17, you were the last person seen with her. I closed my eyes, the weight of the accusation sinking into my bones. I didn't kill her, I told him, but the rock in my throat had me doubting myself. He sighed, frustration etched into his features. You've got a record, Ian, possession, public intoxication and burglary, a big history with pills too. You think that makes you look innocent? I knew it didn't. My reputation, my choices, even every wanker that I was dumb enough to call a mate, they painted a picture I couldn't escape. But the guilt that weighed on me wasn't from something I had done, it was from not knowing if I had done it. I need help, I whispered, not just for the pills, but to remember, to find out what really happened. The cop's expression didn't change, but he paused, considering my words. You'll get help, he said finally, but until we have more, you're staying put. As he left the room, the door clicking shut behind him, I sank into the chair, the photo still staring up at me, Lila. Her name echoed in my mind, a tragic reminder of a night I wished I could remember, but knew I'd never forget. In the shadows of my broken mind, truth and memory intertwine. I didn't do it, but I've got no proof. My innocence lost in pills I used. Her name, her face, they haunt my soul. My future unraveling out of control. I need the truth to set me free, but the past is a prison holding me. How can I tell my mom I lost it all at 23? Turned into days as I sat in that cell, the weight of my silence growing heavier with each passing moment. I replayed the night in my mind, every fragmented memory, every slurred word, trying to piece together the truth. I knew who I had been with. I've been running through houses with those boys for years, bound by shared vices and a loyalty that felt unbreakable. But now, that loyalty was a chain around my neck. That night, they were the ones who picked Lila up. I was too far gone to question it, too wrapped up in my own high to see what was happening. But now, in the sobering light of a cell window, I knew it was one of them. I could feel it in the pit of my stomach. Still, when the detectives asked, I kept my mouth shut. I told them I couldn't remember, that I didn't know who else had been there. It wasn't just fear that kept me silent. It was the misguided sense of loyalty, the belief that protecting them somehow preserved the bond we had forged through years of shared mistakes. But the days dragged on, regret gnawed at me, a constant reminder of the price of my silence. Sitting in that cell, I wondered what loyalty was worth. Lila was dead, a girl who deserved more than to be a nameless victim in a sordid story of drugs and deception. And yet, I was here, bearing the weight of a crime I didn't commit, while the guilty walked free. Guilty walked! Myself for it, for protecting friends who hadn't protected me, for letting fear and misplaced watched the loyalty cloud my judgment for not standing up when it mattered most. Each moment of silence felt like another nail in the coffin of my own freedom, and with it Lila's justice. But the words didn't come, they caught in my throat, a bitter reminder of the choices I had made and the ones that I hadn't. In the quiet of my soul, I whispered a name I had kept locked away in my head. Lila, I'm so fucking sorry.